Hi, everybody. This is the first installment of what might be many, or it might be only one, of something called Matt Sloan Edits. I'm going to edit this video, and you can watch me edit if you like. If that's your thing, if that's something you're into. I don't know. I don't know what you're into. I don't know your life. Okay, so I'm going to be doing some editing and talking through some of my editing decisions and just how I make the show. Welcome to the basement. Where's the screen? Welcome to the basement. That's the show. And this is the first installment of Sci-Fi July, so we are watching the sci-fi horror movie Cube. Now, the show is divided up into three different sections. There's the intro, there is the movie, and then there's the discussion. The discussion also includes Seen It and the outro, ending credits, things like that. And I am going to be focusing on the movie right now. And this is what I like to call my first editing pass. I've already logged all of the footage, basically gone through all the footage and decided what I want to keep and what I don't need. And now I'm going to go through and kind of refine that and sort of construct this section of the show and make it into something that is watchable. So here we go. Show length I'm usually going for is about 24 minutes. The show often goes over. So, throughout this process, I'm making decisions on what jokes and what comments don't need to be there, aren't funny enough, or things like that. In this first pass, I'm not going to be doing a lot of that. I'm going to mostly just be trimming the fat, getting rid of dead space. But there are some jokes or riffs or comments that could get cut in this first pass. So let's roll. Let's roll. Okay.
Now put down that cube. Cube is coming on.
A little pre-movie comment. I'll just trim the end of that.
A bald man wakes up in a cube. He doesn't know why he's there. We don't know who he is. He goes into the next room, and this happens.
Okay, so that jump cut there is eventually going to be covered up by a clip from the movie. But for now, I'm just going to trim it up real nice and move on.
He goes into the next room, and this happens. He's been cubed.
That is
Cubed.
a bit loud. I'm just going to turn it down a couple notches.
He's been cubed.
If you see these little bars over here, that tells me if my audio is peaking. I generally like to put it at about -6. I think some people do -12, but I don't know. I go between -6 and -12. That's a good volume.
He's been cubed.
Okay, this is okay. I say bald man, so I probably should see that he's a bald man. So do we see something other than an eye? There he is. I'm going to use that clip instead of the eyeball.
A bald man wakes up in a cube.
Yeah, if I make the point of saying he's a bald man, and we should see that he's a bald man right away.
Cube.
Get rid of that little pause there, because I'm going to put this clip over it. And also, I'm going to get rid of the sound from the movie. Sometimes I like to keep the sound. If it's just sound effects or music, I'll put it at a low volume, like maybe -20. In this case, there's nothing really going on, so I'm just going to get rid of the sound entirely.
A bald man wakes up in a cube. He doesn't.
Okay, and then maybe I'll see what this next shot is. He's standing up. Oh, that's pretty good. I like that pan up, so I'm going to cut that. There's a nifty little hotkey that I've learned about, or a keystroke combination that really makes cutting easily. It is, I just do it. Hang on, let me undo. And it is Option left bracket or right bracket. If you want to cut all of the video to the left of the scrub bar here, you would do left bracket like so. Just cuts it all out. It's very easy. I love it. I love it, you guys. I love it. Okay, so he wakes up in a cube. He doesn't know where he is, and we don't know who he is.
He doesn't know why he's there. We don't know who he is.
Okay, and then we jump to the next plot point.
He goes into the next room, and this happens.
Goes in the next room, and
There's no place like cube.
Oh, there's a funny little comment. It might get cut later, but I'll leave it in for now.
He is. There's no place like cube. He goes into the next room, and this happens.
Okay, so Might not.
360 fisheye pan.
Okay, that's a little joke. We'll move that there. Uh-oh, I just locked my wife on the back porch. I'll be right back. Sorry. Okay, back to the editing. After rescuing my wife from a trap of my own design. Okay.
That means something weird is going to happen. He goes into the next room, and this happens. He's been cubed. You opened the box. We came. Hellraiser.
I don't know about that. I'll leave it in for now, but that's probably going to get cut. Sometimes if a joke is just a reference to something, doesn't always make it. Although that shot does look like the Hellraiser box a little bit. So let's go here. Wait a minute.
He goes into the next room.
So he goes into the next room. I'm going to put before that bit, even though that bit might get cut. And what will happen if it gets cut is I'll cut all the joke, and then I'll just use this over this.
Oh, and this happens. He's been cubed.
Okay. You know, I'm actually going to put this back here, and I'll leave these together.
Room, and this happens.
Because I want to see him going into the room. I don't think I need that, so I'm going to get rid of that. He goes into the next room.
He goes into the next room, and
I'm going to cut back to me for, and this happens. Kind of like the foot noise, so I'm going to leave that in low. Now, this is a really great part of the movie, so I don't want to...
Whoa.
It's kind of a key part. It's very gross, which YouTube might not like. That's a good shot, and it's far enough away where it's not quite so gruesome. So I think I might cut out all of this really close-up stuff. Wait a minute.
Whoa.
Okay, so here we go. We'll go from there, and we're going to cut. We don't need to see his name.
Whoa.
We can cut right to that.
Whoa.
And then we're going to cut right to his body collapsing. So all of this is going. So here's the new scene.
Whoa. I'm guessing he's not going to be a major character in the story.
It's not exactly a funny joke, but it's an interesting comment, so I'll leave it for now. And then we go to Craig saying...
He's been cubed.
Oh, he's kind of cut off there.
Cubed.
I do like seeing the trap. So maybe, I don't know. I kind of like seeing Craig for this, and I kind of like seeing this. So I'm really not sure, so I'm just going to leave it for now and move on. I will make that decision later.
Cube, you so crazy.
Cube, you taking your opening title sequence from Alien.
Nice, that's funny. I like to have either a pre-movie joke or a joke that is connected to the title screen. I don't know why. I just think that that starts the movie off on a good note. And it starts us off kind of up and running right at the beginning there. And it's also something that's really easy to use in the end of the year montage that I do in our final show of the year, where it's sort of a look back. So I'm glad that Craig made this comment.
Alien.
Two guys wake up in a cube. They don't know why they're there. How did we get here? Who are you?
I think I'm going to cut
In
my
a cube.
comment and just go right to Craig's.
How did we get here? Who are you?
A little loud. Turn it down a couple notches.
You.
Okay, two guys wake up in a cube.
Hey,
I don't think I need this. This is good enough. What? Wait, I changed my mind. Let me undo. I like seeing Quentin's face and his overacting. So I'm going to put that there. Get rid of the sound, and then I'm going to do this for Craig's comment. I like to cover us up with movie as much as possible. But obviously if we're doing something visual or, I don't know, Craig gets funny faces that I don't like to cover up because they're funny when he's excited or angry about something.
Cute.
Craig is a very visual performer. I'm a big fan of Craig and his performing skills.
Cute.
That's why he hasn't been fired.
Two guys wake up in a cube. How did we get here? Who are you?
Nice. What's this next clip?
Don't go in there. You're going to get julienned. A woman.
Yeah. Okay, that joke is so-so, but I will keep it for now. And I will cover up my comment with the this. Turn down the sound.
Don't go in there. You're going to get julienned. Oh.
Okay, I don't like it cutting back in so soon. So,
Don't go in there. You're going to get julienned. A woman.
No, that doesn't really work. Sometimes the clip isn't long enough. Like in this case, the goddamn clip isn't long enough. So,
don't go in there.
I'm just going to have to cut back to us for that.
Don't go in there. You're going to get julienned. A woman appears. They don't know who she is either.
Okay, I think it's obvious that they don't know who she is, so I'm going to get rid of that. A woman appears. This is all good camera work, but kind of like to see the spinning door. I'm guessing.
Hi. Oh. Why? And then
That's stupid. All right. So a woman appears. I'm going to get the spinning door. You know, I'm going to just leave that clip as it is. Because I like the surprise of it, and it just sort of like leads us to the next part of the story. So I'm going to keep it there for now, even though it takes up more space on the timeline. And then I'm going to take, wait a minute. I'm going to take this, I'm going to cut most of that. A woman appears. Oh, see? It's just too short. Damn it. Okay, I'm going to zoom in a little bit. This is probably better ways to do this. I don't call myself an editing expert, but... So I don't know all of the tricks and shortcuts, but I'm just going to do it like this. I'm going to get rid of that sound. I'll keep that sound in.
Hi. Oh. Why?
I'm probably going to trim that somehow if I don't just cut it entirely.
And then another one. Hi.
Okay, so I don't want to cut to this for 5 frames or whatever, so I'm going to have to cover that up somehow, but I will do that later.
And then another one. Now there's 4 of them. Another one. Now there's 4 of them.
Okay, I like that whip pan to her, so I'm going to use that. I wish I could see her face better. Maybe I'll go, I won't get the beginning of the whip. I'll just get the whip pan.
And then another one. Now there's 4 of them.
That's fine. What's this next clip?
Stop!
She breaks her glass. Okay, this is not important at all, so that's good. So if you look down here, you'll see that this is the total length of the timeline, which is now 44 minutes and 4 seconds. So I need to cut that down to 24 or thereabouts. So I got about 20 minutes of footage to cut. Most of that is going to come out of this section of the show. This is the largest section footage-wise because as I'm logging footage, I'm not always sure what I'm going to need and what I'm not going to need. And I'd rather have it here than have to go search for it later, which I often have to do anyway. So as much of this as I can cut right away, that's not material, the better. So she's there.
There's 4 of them.
I think it might be important that she breaks her glasses. I know it comes back, but it might not be important it might not be needed for this show. So I'm just going to leave it for now. That could get cut later. Okay.
No one will be able to tell I'm a nerd.
Oh, that's good. I like the zoom in for that. And Craig's joke. Craig's funny joke. Okay.
No one will be able to tell I'm a nerd. I was supposed to take those off later in the movie, and then they'd realize how pretty I am.
Funny stuff. That'll probably stay. It's a funny comment.
No one will be able to tell.
Okay, so there's a little bit of an audio. It's not a pop, but it's the audio doesn't match. It sort of drops out. You know, maybe if I leave this up a little bit, that will not be the case.
No one will be able to tell I'm a nerd.
That is better. If that didn't work, I'd have to do some crossfading here, which probably we'll do later on.
Pretty I am.
Then another guy shows up. Now there's 5 of them.
The door opens up, and a little man comes in, and he.
Gets cut off at the beginning.
Another door opens.
A little more. The left and right arrow buttons help me navigate frame by frame. And then there's that option bracket tool again. I'm going to trim off the end of that too.
Of them.
Another door opens up, and a little man comes in, and he says, I'm getting out of this joint. He says,
okay, long pause there. I'm just going to cut that, and I will cover it up later.
I'm getting out of this joint.
5 of them.
Another door.
Another guy.
Now, I like the fact that Craig calls him a little man, but I also like the shortness of mine, so I'm not sure what I'm going to use there. So I will leave it.
Joint.
There's worth.
You can't see that he's a little man, so there's no point in saying that he's a little man. Just going to do the look up, the whip pan. Ba-ding. Trim off the rest of that. I'm going to move that over here. So I will keep my comment. I will get rid of Craig's comment. Craig's comment is gone.
Then another guy shows up. Now there's 5.
Hi, Cecil. Did you want to come up and watch me edit? My cat is here. He's very interested in what's happening. He's very intelligent, and he appreciates good editing. Oh, what are you whining about? You just ate.
Now there's 5 of them.
Another door opens up, and a little.
Okay, so little man is gone. Don't need it.
Of them. I'm getting out of this joint.
There's worth.
Oh, hi, buddy. You can't get in my way, though. Yes. Okay. All right. If you're going to sit there, that's fine. Sorry, cat difficulties. Okay, so I say all their names, which is probably important.
There's Worth, Levin, Quentin, he's a cop, Wren, and Holloway, who's a doctor.
Pretty good. And then, so this clip of Craig say, I'm getting out of this joint. I'm not sure I'm going to need it, but I don't want to cut it. So what I'm going to do is I have a little timeline here called Cut Cube. Right now we're on Main Cube. I'm going to open that up. That's where I keep clips that I cut, but I don't want to just delete them because I'm not sure if I'm going to end up needing them later. And you know, I don't want to have to go and re-find it. I've already found it. So I'm going to take that. Command X, which is cut and copy, and then Command V puts it in the Cut Cube timeline. That's also where I store bits and riffs that I cut from the main episode. They end up being outtakes in the unboxing episode. Sometimes unboxing doesn't have any outtakes if I don't have enough good ones. For instance, Yellow Submarine, which is the previous unboxing I just did, there were no outtakes because all the good stuff was in the episode. So here we go.
There's Worth, Levin, Quentin, he's a cop, Wren.
Okay, so here we have Worth. I'm going to put Worth over his name.
There's Worth.
I like the look up and I like the landing on his face, so I'm going to start that a little later.
There's Worth.
Nice.
Levin.
That's the next one. There's Levin. Okay, Worth.
Levin.
And there's a kind of a big pause. Oops. Kind of a big pause there. I'm going to get rid of that.
Levin.
There's Wren. There's Quentin.
Quentin, he's a cop.
And we have Wren. I wish Wren would stop walking.
Wren.
Okay, let me get rid of that audio so I can hear things.
Quentin, he's a cop.
Wren. And Holloway. See, I knew I was going to need all these, so I put all of these clips right next to the clip where I knew I was going to need them. So doing this is really easy.
And Holloway, who's a doctor.
Perfect.
Doctor.
Just increase that a little bit, trim off the end of that, and there we are.
Worth doesn't say anything.
Okay. So this has been fun. I think I'm going to take a break right now. I'm going to go get some coffee, so I'm going to say goodbye for now, and I hope to put out another one of these real soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.